Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name's Michael, and today we continue on our journey through Kingdom Death Monsters campaign. We are at the second part of Lantern Year 6, having that special Nemesis encounter. Last episode, we took on the King's Man. We cheated a little bit, but we came out victorious. So I thought with the hunt, we may as well send our survivors off and really go a little bit beyond our reach here. Some have said that the White Lion level 2 is too far out of our grips, but I say tooey to that, and let's send some survivors off to face an impossible monster. Now, just a small word of warning coming through here. My memory cards have been playing up slightly, flicking off within a couple of seconds of starting filming on some sections. So, towards the end, when we're sort of just sitting post-encounter, there are a few weird cuts which I don't like, but I've tried to tidy them up as much as I can, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, that being said, let's get stuck into this encounter. Alright, here we are in the wakes of our encounter with the King's Man. We return from the special showdown phase and move back up to the update death count phase. Now this is kind of cool because it means we get to play through the encounter without pushing forward another lantern year, giving us more time to grow and develop our characters. So we've still got 2 endeavors left to play around with here, and I'm thinking that we will spend them just to push forward with the development of our other characters as we have done so before, spending both of these at the shared experience location. And we're going to give this +1 hunt experience to 2 unnamed survivors. Now I'm thinking we just push forward number 4 and number 5 for simplicity's sake. Again, catering for our demise. Wonderful. Now moving through there, we move to the prepared departing survivors. We'll do that next, and then we'll move forward into the hunt phase. Let's find out just where we're going. All right, guys, guess what we're hunting? Level 2 White Lion. And you know this one's tough because usually, well, he'd appear by now, but... oh, there he is. The level 2 White Lion is so far away. In fact, he goes beyond the overwhelming darkness story spot, which means we are going to have to contend with some horrors in the middle there. So not only that, we have to get through all of these hunt events, survive, make it through overwhelming darkness, and then we have to fight a tougher, stronger White Lion. Oh, why am I doing this? Because, well, quite frankly, we deserve it. So without further ado, let's send our survivors off on the hunt. First space, White Lion hunt card. What do we got? Marked territory. The White Lion has marked this area. If any survivor has 3+ understanding, they realize the area is covered in ammonia. Ooh, that would be lovely, except we just don't have that kind of understanding in our team. Well, that's a shame, so we're going to have to roll a random hunt event instead. We grab our dice, and we go for 77. All right, this story is Sinkhole. A gaping sinkhole suddenly opens under the survivors, revealing a swirling black pool of ichor beneath them. Each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in case of ties, becomes a straggler. Fantastic. Well, not fantastic. Great news, we get to show off what a straggler is, but stragglers very rarely lead to good things. Each straggler rolls 1d10. If any other survivor has a whip, they may throw a line to the straggler. That's lovely. All right, well, we don't have whips, so let's begin rolling for our survivors. We'll start off with Freya. And she gets a 9. Fantastic. She's very unlikely to be the straggler. Well, that's not good. I like these other guys. Let's go for Ripper next. She also gets a 9. Why couldn't we save these 9s till later? Who knows? Let's go for Eva. A 3. Uh-oh. And lastly, Dorian. Oh, sorry guys. And that's a 6. Eva becomes the straggler. So we roll 1d10 for the straggler. We'll go the black dice here. Or should we go the other one? Well, the other one gave us a bunch of 9s, so let's see how we go. An 8, not bad. And what happens? You are dragged to safety, terrified but unharmed. Not bad. Okay, that could be the best thing that could have happened there. Who knows what that 10 plus would have been, but man, I will take that 8 any day of the week. All right, we have finished with that hunt card, so let's move our survivors onwards to the next White Lion event. White Lion Cub. The survivors find a White Lion Cub. They may choose to slay the cub. If they do, each survivor gains 1 random basic resource. Each survivor gains 1 random Whoa. The event revealer rolls on the table below. I think as morally against it as I am, it's a tiny cute white lion cub, I'm sure, I kind of want those resources, so let's do it. All right, so we get monster hide, a skull, a questionable resource, and monster bone. Let me just tone down this brightness. Apologies. That could be better. All right, so there they are. That's 1 basic resource for each survivor there, which is pretty cool. But now I've got a roll on the table down there. This could be tough. Oh, actually, this could be... Oh, okay. Let's roll. And we get the 10. Nothing happens. You know what would have been cool? If we got a 4 or a 7, because then the lion shows up and we begin the showdown immediately. We wouldn't have to trek all the way down there. All right, nothing happens. We did gain a good bunch of resources though, so that's good. Let's move our survivors onwards and move this hunt thing over so we can see just what's going on. Oh, looming there just beyond the overwhelming darkness, we have the white lion. Oh, so close. All right, now of course this one is a random event, so we roll. Let's see what we've got. 67, that would be. Cool. I love these story events. All right, saliva pools. The ground ahead is pockmarked with pools filled with a gooey liquid. They bubble merrily and stink of digesting meat. Oh, I mean, delicious, but digesting? Yeah. As the survivors move between them, they are overcome by waves of nausea. If any survivor has a sickle, which we don't, they slice a few leaves from a nearby plant and everyone uses them to plug their noses and mask the smell. Everyone would gain 1 understanding. Unfortunately, we don't have a sickle. What else we got? Otherwise, each survivor rolls 1d10. If the result is less than their survival, they continue on. Otherwise, they vomit into a nearby pool, suffering 1 event damage to the body. Before their eyes, the pool greedily dissolves their vomit, and they gain 1 understanding. That's kind of cool. All right. Well, since none of us have the sickle, we're going to be rolling for each character. So let's begin with Freya. Now, Freya has currently a survival of 2. She'll gain 2 more, bringing her up to the max on arrival, but from her departing survival, she's only got 2. So we roll. And we get a 9, which is certainly not below her survival. Good news though, she gains +1 understanding. All right, let's go to Ripper. And that's a 3, very close, but not quite underneath her survival. Next up, we have Dorian. Let's see what he rolls. A 9, terrible. And last off, we have Eva. Now she's actually going to be sitting on 3 survival from departing. So we roll, and it's a 4. All right, that is a hectic start there. Everyone's been damaged just a little bit, but they've all gained a bit of understanding as well. While not enough to throw us into a story event, it's edged us that next step closer to our first insight. All right, let's move it along. Next hunt event is another random one, so we roll the 2. This time it's 67. Are you kidding? Good Lord. Okay. We do that again, guys. We're still not out of the bogs yet. This is not good. Back back to the saliva pools. No one has that 3+ understanding yet, so we are rolling for everybody again. Oh, all right. Let's see if we can stave off some damage. Let's start off with Freya. Terrible. I'm just going to roll for everyone and we'll see how we go. Ripper. 2. Oh, she's good. Nope, not good. Needs to be less than, not equal to or less than. So she'll get a damage as well. We'll go for Eva next. And I've swapped dice for whatever reason. And that is going to be a damage there. And Bastion swapping back for a 2. That's not Bastion. Who is it? Dorian. Dorian, not Bastion. Ooh. I'm going to get those names mixed up because I use the same model for them. He too, though, does get a damage.
In a single moment, the curtain of the world pulls back.
Alright guys, I'm going to level with you here. I am filming this Insight story event after having completed the encounter. in all my shock and disbelief of actually pulling the same event twice for those random story events, I actually forgot that there were benefits to this whole thing. So our survivors actually gain their understanding, and 3 of our survivors hit their very first insight level. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for all of them. Now, Ripper, Eva, and Freya have all pulled this event. So our insight event is occurring in the hunt phase, and so our survivors get the epiphany story event. You dream. Before you, toiling silently, a strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. We gain the Explore ability, which is when you roll and investigate when you roll on an investigate table, add +2 to your roll result, which is very cool and is going to help us out of some fairly sticky situations later on, I'm sure. So we'll roll for each of our characters now. Now Freya, Eva, and Ripper are all going to be rolling on the event. So we'll start with Freya. Let's see how we go. A 9, gain +1 permanent accuracy. Now, this is great because that means, it makes it easier to hit later on. But I actually forgot to include this in the... So, ignore this until next hunt. All right, let's do Eva next. And a 10. Ah, man. Okay, so that is +1 permanent evasion. Once again, this is awesome, but I won't be using it in the hunt. I'm sorry. My bad, guys, my bad. All right, and last but not least, we have Ripper. And it's a 9. Oh, how many 9s did we roll through this entire hunt phase? It's insane. All right, so that's 1 permanent accuracy for her as well. All right, now with all that done, we head back into the hunt phase. All right, random events, my butt. All right, let's move into this last one here before we get on to Overwhelming Darkness. Aromatic Breeze. The hungry lion sniffs the survivor's musk on the wind. Move the white lion 1 space towards the survivors on the hunt board. If it moves into the survivor's space, we've seen this one before. Now, he's not going to ambush us here. He's going to move into Overwhelming Darkness, which means we don't have to do Overwhelming Darkness. We do, however, have to roll a random hunt event. Let's not get 67 again. I don't think I could handle that. And that is 69. Good at rolling 6s. All right, what do we got? Time lapse. The glow of the survivors' lanterns blurs, forming trails of light behind them. If the settlement has fought a phoenix, the group recognizes the phenomenon. All survivors gain +1 understanding. Well, we haven't fought the phoenix. The event revealer rolls 1d10 on the table below. If any survivor has an hour's ring, they may instead select a die result. All right, let's leave this as a bit of a surprise as to what we're going to encounter here. I can imagine, high is going to be better. High, I hope, is good. Let's go. Top corner there. Oh, there it is. All right. Number 10, the survivors are suddenly standing by their quarry. Start the showdown immediately. Dang. Well, that would have happened anyway, but could that have been good? Oh, who knows? I'm not going to read it now because we have a white lion to encounter. Level 2 white lion. This is going to be the toughest encounter yet. Good luck to us all. All right, here we have Eva's gear grid. As usual, she's not got too much going on for her as far as armor goes. She's rocking those amazing support items though. Hopefully we'll have some need of them today. She's got that dried arcanthus that helped bump her survival up when departing before. But at the moment, there's not much except for a little bit of waist armor, the headpieces, and the lasting effects from the shrine way back when. So let's run through her abilities and such. She's got the Fist and Tooth Weapons specialization, which allows her to stand at the beginning of the monster's or the survivor's turn. We have the Quixotic disorder, which is a great disorder for us because if she's insane when she departs, and she is, she gains +1 survival and a strength token. She's also got the Red Fist Secret Fighting Art, which gains, you guessed it, another strength token for her and all the other departing survivors, and those survivors may spend the +1 strength tokens in place of survival. Next, we've got a new one for her, which replaced, I think, was Orator of Death or Leader or something like that. Now, on arrival, gain +1 evasion token. If you don't have an instrument in your gear grid, remove all your +1 evasion tokens. Of course, we do have an instrument. We're rocking that Whisker Harp. Now, Rhythm Chaser cannot be used if there is any heavy gear in the gear grid, and that's why we're not bringing anything like the King's Spear to offset our lack of armor kind of thing. Lastly, we have the Monster Claw style. Your Fist and Tooth attacks gain +1 accuracy and +1 strength and savage, which gives us the ability to knock off some more wounds when we attack. It says after the first critical wound in an attack, savage weapons cause 1 additional wound. This rule does not trigger on impervious hit locations, which is a shame. But it does mean we can sort of help melt those wounds off there. So she's rocking a bunch of extra tokens here, and that is why she's one of my favorite members of the team. Next up we have Ripper, and nothing really new for her here. She's still rocking extremely light armor. I'm talking almost nothing except for the cloth armor, but that shrine ability is still ringing strong. She's going to be rocking that catgut bow and clawhead ammo combination. Now she has the bow weapon specialization, which means she can re-roll any misses once per attack. She's also got the Unconscious Fighter Fighting Art, which means it's going to take 7 bleeding tokens to kill her. Not that she's going to be getting into too much trouble here, thanks to the Strategist Fighting Art, which allows her to put down a giant stone face or a toppled pillar out onto the field. Now the toppled pillar is good to block line of sight, but that giant face, well, that is absolutely spot on for increasing range and accuracy of ranged weapons, and that's why she has the bow. Now she of course gains that +1 strength token there, but she's already quite strong with an additional accuracy +3 strength, natural strength there, evasion and speed, so she is going to be killing it today, I hope. Next up, we've got Dorian. He's one of the newer additions to the party. He's mildly insane, and he's rocking the Butcher's Cleaver now, hoping to build up some weapon specialization there. This is an extremely powerful weapon that we scored from the Butcher. He's going to be rocking the Rawhide full set of armor there, which boosts his armor to all hit locations and basically gives him a 50% chance of recovering any survival spent. We ensure that he's going to be insane for this encounter by giving him the Stone Noses, which grants him that bonus +1 survival on arrival and that +1 insanity. Alright, and lastly we have Freya here. Now, she is rocking pretty much the same gear that we saw her in the last encounter with. She's got her +1 movement here because of those connected red affinities. She's also got... That's right. Okay, she doesn't have Deadly this time because I've forgotten to give her the Screaming Horns, which I gave to Eva, and I can't remember why I did that. But That's locked in anyway. Now she does have this cool pounce ability here, whereby she can spend both her movement and normal activations to move 3 spaces in a straight line. Then if she's moved 3 spaces, she can activate a melee weapon with +1 strength. So that is going to be huge for the scrap sword here, which is already very powerful. Now she hasn't got too much additional abilities. She does have the extra sense fighting art, which means she can dodge an additional time per round, which she may well need because this is going to be a tough fight coming up. But besides that, it's just that bonus +1 strength token. Oh, forgot to give a +1 strength token to Dorian. I'm not going to edit that, but he has one as well. All right, with all that being said, let's head to the arena and see what this white lion has in store for us. Alright, now the level 2 white lion is vastly superior to both the prologue and level 1 white lion. Let's seriously. He has essentially 15 cards hanging around in his AI deck, which means we need 16 wounds to take him out. And that's eclipsing the level 1 white lion's 10 cards. Wow. Now, the level 2 white lion has a toughness of 10 and a movement of 7, which means he's going to be running around doing a ton of damage. And not only that, he's going to be hard to kill. Now, as for his sort of little bonuses, he has the cunning trait. At the end of each monster's turn, the monster extends its claws. We get a quick break if we want to move any of our characters out of the way. If there are any adjacent survivors, target one. At random and full move the white lion directly away from all threats. Target suffers grab, which is going to cause damage and move all of our survivors out of position. Very deadly up at close combat here. Now on top of that, he gains a +1 speed token and a +1 damage token, which means this is going to be, wow, super challenging. All right, let's head to the battlefield. All right, guys, here is the setup for our encounter. As usual with the white lion encounters, we have 2 tall grass on the board. I've placed one to the bottom and one to the top of the map here, and they're going to enclose our sort of controlled tactical region over here. Now, as a standard part of setup, we pull the giant stone face card here, which kind of negates the need for us to call upon it as a part of Ripper's special ability. So we used for the first time her ability to call a toppled pillar onto the board, which I've set up there. Now this is going to provide a nice blocking of line of sight. So if our survivors want to hang out safely, they can put themselves on the other side of the pillars to the line. The other thing that we drew, and I've placed square up in the top left corner here, is the ore vein. That's got to be pretty far away from all other terrain. And it's just going to provide us with a little bit of iron if we can get there. I'm probably going to try and send Eva up there as soon as I can. But with that all said, we are set up and ready to go. So let's begin with this white lion level 2 encounter. Now, as is the norm with any hunted quarry, they get the first turn. So our monster, the level 2 white lion, will draw the first of his AI cards. All right. And we have Smart Cat. Now, this is never a good one to see early in the game without a little bit of AI card culling. Reveal the top 10 AI cards one at a time. Put the first 2 mood cards revealed into play, then shuffle the deck. Let's see what we get. Revenge, not a mood. Oh, let me just do that. This is 2, Combo Claw. 3, Vicious Claw. 4, Maul. 5, Claw. 6, Size Up. 7, Size Up. 8, Chomp. 9, Claw, and 10, Bat Around. So of our top 10 cards, we drew 0 mood cards. So I shuffle the deck and we draw an AI card to replace Smart Cat because we now archive this one. So let me just pop that out of the way and we have Size Up. So one of these guys coming out, there's another one floating around in there. This is a random threat in field of view. Currently, we have 2 targets in field of view. The monster stares down its prey. Turn to face the target and roll 1d10. On a result of 4 plus, the target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and is knocked down. Alright, so as we're going to be randomizing, I have number 3 here for Dorian and number 1 here for Freya. Let's see how we go. Oh, nobody knows it's going to be. Oh, Dorian cops it. Alright, so we roll hoping for underneath a 4 plus. And we get a 9, which is no good to us. Uh-oh. Now Dorian's, he's got plenty of insanity to protect him from something like this. So he takes the 2 brain damage, bringing him down to 2 insanity. The bad news is here, Dorian relies on having that insanity to activate his Butcher's Cleaver. It's not a worst case scenario, but it's pretty damn close. So he takes the damage, and on top of that, he becomes knocked down. That's the end of the lion's activation. So we check his cunning trait. At the end of each monster turn, the monster extends its claws. If there are any adjacent survivors, target one at random. No adjacent survivors, we don't need to worry about it. And so we move into the very first survivor's activation. Currently, Dorian is knocked down and he won't be standing up just yet. Right now, we've got to play it a little safe. So we're going to move Eva 2, 3, 4. We're just going to move her up and close to the ore so she can pick it up next turn. There she is, all the way in the distance. Now, Eva is just a little too far away from the ore vein there. Her 5th movement would have her just on the corner there and not close enough. So this way we can give herself ample opportunity to run to either the ore vein or the grass if need be next turn. We're going to round out her turn by activating the Screaming Horns. This scream allows all non-deaf, insane survivors to gain +1 movement, which would actually just be her. So if I really let this fire off first, we'd be able to get there. But then anyway, we're not going to do that. This is mainly for the benefit of Dorian, because all other survivors gain +1 insanity, and he needs that. He was taken down to 2 insanity, and this leaves him just not able to use his Butcher's Cleaver. This point of insanity will bring him back up to 3 and give him the ability to use that cleaver again, thank goodness. Freya also gains 1 insanity, but that's it. The other guys just have their movement and they've already done their bit, so I don't really need it just yet, but good to know. Let's move Ripper up, and she is going to load her bow with the Clawhead arrow, and this way we're going to have an easier time hitting if she can land this hit. Now this is a 1 speed attack, usually hitting on a 6+, but being on top of the head, it gives us 2 more to that. So we're down to a 4+, and then with her bonus to accuracy, hitting on a 3+. And we get a 10, which is a hit. Not much else for the purposes of this one though. So we draw and we get that fuzzy groin. Oops, stay there, thank you. Let's roll to see if we can wound him. And we get an 8, which is a good hit for us. So we discard that hit location and the top card of the AI deck. And to top that off, for hitting with the arrow, we gain that -1 evasion token for the white line, making it a lot easier for the rest of our survivors to do some damage. Now, in accomplishing this attack, Ripper has to use her attack and a movement. Now, she's already used her attack or activation to climb on top of the stone face, so we do actually have to spend a survival. Apologies, missing that one there. She's down to 3 survival. Now let's continue the attack with Freya here. Now she's going to begin by spending a survival to have Dorian stand up. Next, with her 6 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well she doesn't need all 6, she's going to jump in and attack the white lion with the scrap sword. 2 speed, 4+. 1 hit. Alright, not bad. We now get the beast's knee. 6 strength against the white lion's toughness 10, we need a 4+. And we get that 5, which is good enough for me. Next up, she's going to spend her survival to activate her movement again, moving back into the tall grass. Now this is chewing through her survival, but we kind of had to do it to keep out of the way. Dorian has a much better chance of jumping in and out like that with his ability to only spend survival half the time, so he's going to move in next. Now because he's got some of his insanity back thanks to Eva, he's going to be able to make the attack with the Butcher's Cleaver. This is 2 dice hitting on a 4+. A 4 and a 6, 2 hits and 2 hit locations. What we have here is the Beast's Heel and the Fleshy Gut. Now we do have a failure to worry about here, but with 7 strength and wounding on a 3+, we may not have to contend with it. Let's begin with the Beast's Heel just to be sure. We get the 5, which is our first wound. Next we have the attack with the Fleshy Gut. We get an 8, which is going to be a wound for us there, melting away these AI cards. Now to finish off his turn, Dorian has the choice to spend his survival in a number of ways. Now I kind of end result here is I want to move him back into the long grass so that he's somewhat protected for the next bunch of attacks. This, however, would leave Ripper as a prime target for this next bit. So he's going to use a point of survival here to surge and attack the White Lion again. We spend the survival, but we can now roll to get it back. And a 9, and we do. We attack again with the Butcher's Cleaver. 2 dice, 4+. A 7 and a 2, only 1 hit here. And we get the Strange Hand. Now this has a failure, but once again, I think we've got a good chance here. With 7 strength between the weapon and the natural strength, we only need a 3+, and with the 7, we make it. Another wound, another AI card out of the deck. We move into the White Lion's turn, and it looks like he's only got 1 survivor in his sights. Let's see. Oh, and it's a mood. Bloodthirsty. Now this is a heck of a mood. This one is the one that anytime the lion does damage, we put a token on here. Every time he has 3+ tokens, he performs a free basic action. Now in addition to pulling that card, we have to draw another AI card, and we get Size Up. Now this is another one. Okay, so random threat in field of view. Everybody is in the field of view now. So let's draw. And we get Eva. Oh, but Eva's so far away. Hang on. There she is, safe and sound in the distance, or so we thought. Now with this intimidation, turn to face the target and roll 1d10. On a result of 4+, she suffers 1 brain event damage per monster level, that's 2, and becomes knocked down. Oh my god, we made it. Okay. With that 1, nothing happens. This is brilliant. Cool. We discard that second Size Up, and we move back into the Survivor's activation. Let's start strong with Dorian here. He's going to move back behind the White Lion into the blind spot, and he's going to attack with that Butcher's Cleaver. 2 dice, 3+. Ooh, a 3 and an 8, so we make 2 hits there. We get the Beast's Scapular Deltoid. Now this has a failure on it, and the Beast's Ribs, which has a wound on it. All right, let's begin by resolving the Beast's Ribs. 3+. And we score a 2, which means we don't get the wound or the wound reflex, which would have been a positive one anyway. That sucks. All right, let's see if we can fare any better with the Scapular Deltoid. But we don't have to resolve the failure. We discard the hit location and another card from the AI deck. We move on to Freya. We're going to run up behind the line, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to actually get that far. She's only going to make it to the corner or right beside him, so that will do. Freya's hoping for the best here. 2 dice, 4+. 2 8s, 2 hits. We have the Beast's Ear, which has a failure. And we have the Beast's Chest. Now both of these are considered to have, or they both have failures, so we better not stuff these up. Aiming for a 4+, we'll go the Beast's Ear first. A 7, and that is a wound. The Beast's Chest next. A 6, Another wound. Now she's going to round it out by getting out of there, spending another point of survival, moving back into the thick of the long grass. Now we have 2 survivors left to activate here. We're going to start by moving Eva back and activating, hopefully getting some iron in the process. We roll. And it's a 10, lucky thing. She's got a new nickname coming. This is good because we gain an iron resource for the settlement. There it is there. We have the nice collection of these coming along, so very good. All right, let's go for Ripper. Now she's going to use the normal catgut bow, so this is going to be 3 dice hitting on 3s. We get a 4, a 9, and a 7. 3 hits. Perfect. We pull the Beast's Elbow, the Soft Belly, and the Glorious Mane. Now, of course, the Glorious Mane is impervious. We may get a resource out of it, so let's do that one first. A 3, not particularly good, but it's not going to be any, there's not going to be any negative effects here, which is brilliant. Now we just have the Beast's Elbow and the Soft Belly to go. Apologies there. Let's move to the Beast's Elbow. Now this has a failure on it once again, 3+. And an 8, which is a solid hit for us. Not a critical wound, but enough to remove another AI card. Soft Belly time. A 3. Ooh, I think that's right. We have 3 strength naturally, plus 1 strength token is 4. With a catgut bow, strength of 3 is 7, toughness 10. The 3 will take the wound. Just really had to double check my counting there. And another AI card gone. Now we have no cards left in the AI deck and only 2 in the discard pile. And you remember what they were? Size up. So as long as we can roll well on these and, take off a couple of wounds, we're actually going to make it through here quite easily. So I guess we shuffle them up and we pull one. Lo and behold, what could it be? Size up. So we pick a random survivor in field of view, which happens to be everybody right now. So let's see who gets it. And now this one is going to be Freya because we don't have any yet. So that's Freya's one right now. There she is down the bottom. Let's see how she goes. A 5, that does mean she suffers 2 damage and becomes knocked down. Now Freya's lucky. She has currently 2 insanity, so she doesn't have to roll for any brain trauma or anything like that, which is absolutely fantastic news. Now, next we have to check his other card, which is Cunning, and wouldn't you know it, we have our newbie Dorian standing right in the wrong place. Now, luckily here there is a break in the flow, so we're able to use our survival. So let's get Dorian out of there. We'll use one of his survival and roll, see if we get it back. And it's a 3. So no good there, we lose that survival. But the good news is we do get to move out of there. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now everyone's had a wound against the white line, so it's time to get Eva in there. And I don't know if we're going to be able to make it the whole way. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, she's just going to be a little too far to do anything massive here. That's okay though. We're just going to move her up into that long grass. 2, 3, 4. Can't, can we? 5, there. That'll do. That'll get us close enough for the next round. We can at least dash into the position to do some harm here, because that white line, he's not moving anywhere. Yet. Anyway. Oh no, he will. Will he? No. Anyway. Now we do have to get 2 wounds off him before we can deal the final wound. And I feel like it'll be okay to leave Eva that final wound. So let's have... Let's have Dorian move back into the long grass. Nothing's going on there, but we are going to attack with Ripper here. Now she's got 3 dice to be rolling here, and I'm counting on one of them not being a hit. 3 dice, 4+. Hey, now we're talking. All right, only 2 hits here. What do we got? The Beast's back, which has a failure, and the Beast's flank, which has a wound. Now this is not ideal because that wound is going to mean the priority token, the priority target token for Ripper here. So let's begin by rolling the failure. 3+. 7, we make the wound, so no failure there, and we lose that second size up card. We have 1 to go. Let's see if we can get rid of it with this one, or fail. I'm okay with either at the moment. A 5, and it is a hit. It is a wound, and that means Ripper gains the priority target token. Oh no. Pop that on her here. That means she's going to get attacked next round. And, ooh, this is going to be tricky. Well, not tricky, but it's not going to be good for us because he's back to his old ways. The White Lion is going to be attacking with his basic action. We're just going to have to hope for the best here, and we move into the Lion's activation. First off, we check his Bloodthirsty card. Nothing to worry about. We move to the Lion's actual action, which is his basic action. We target the closest survivor in field of view, or ignoring that, we target the priority target token and we move him along. Boom, straight in there. Now this is normally a speed 2 attack, but he has that +1 speed token, so it's 3 dice. Now, let's have a look at this basic action. Closest survivor in field of view. We're ignoring that and going straight for the priority target token here. But check this out. A break in the flow. This is an opportunity for us to spend our survival. Now, it's not going to be enough to move Eva in, and not even enough to attack from there. So we are going to move Ripper and get her out of attack range. So we spend 1 of Ripper's survival, dropping her down to 2, and get her the heck out of screen here. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right up against the board edge, and so far out of the way. All right. We return back to this. Now, the pick target has occurred, closest survivor in field of view. It's going to be her anyway, but there's nothing about range in here at all, which means the Lion is going to move, but is not going to be able to attack. The White Lion follows for a full move. Now, at level 2, his full move is, I think I said 7? Is that still correct? Yes, it is 7. So he's going to fly up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right over the stone face, but not in range of any attacks. All right, as you can see, the White Lion has moved definitely out of range of Ripper over here, and now we have to kind of finish his activation because that's it. We quickly check his cunning ability. No one is directly adjacent, so we move on to the survivor's turn. Now this is awesome because we have Eva standing up there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces away from the White Lion and going to be able to attack. Now the reason that we've held off so long for this is because we want that point of weapon proficiency so we can get her up to mastery. Let's move her in and go for the attack. Now we are sitting quite close to the end of the hit location deck. We've got what? A handful of cards left. So we're going to take a quick breather and use our activation not for an attack, but to check out the next 3 hit locations because I do not need any surprises right now, okay? We are so close to finish this and doing really well at it too. So hit location number 1. Beast's Tail, reflex, no worries. Beast's Paw, failure. Beast's Temple, failure as well. So no traps here. We don't want that reflex. Let's go for those 2 failures on top. Which one is worse? All right, we'll put the Beast's Temple on top. Cool. Let's attack. Now for our accuracy, we have, including our tokens, we have 3 accuracy. So this takes us down from an 8+ to a 5+. And, oh man, I have been forgetting this -1 evasion token throughout the game, so that might have changed a couple of things, but drops us down to a 4+. Let's do it. 2 dice, 4+. A 5 and a 9, that is 2 hits. Here we go. Beast's Temple, we knew it. Beast's Paw, we knew it. All right, let's hit that Beast's Temple first. Now we have a ton of strength here. We've got 3 strength in tokens, 4 strength for natural strength. So we've got 7 there, hitting, wounding on a 3+. Let's do it. A 4. We have done it. Failure doesn't go off. Nothing bad happens. We discard that AI card and bang, the White Lion is down for the count and everyone has hit. Hooray! Let's crowd around. Loving it. Now, knocking off a level 2 white line gives us a couple of extra bonuses. We get 2 hunt XP for all of our survivors, 1 weapon proficiency level, and then the rewards. Now, our rewards here are greatly boosted, gaining us 4 basic resources and 6 white lion resources, which is kind of boss. Let's start off by dishing out that hunt XP. 2 points to Freya. And she moves in to that, wow, she's going to be having her second age event. We'll do that in a sec. Dorian gets 2 as well. Ripper gets 2. And Eva gets 2. All right. So Freya is going to be the only one doing a story event. So let's dive into that one right now. Here we go, age. So we're at the 2 boxes part, which is improved reflexes. Basically, we're gonna be rolling 2 dice and seeing what we get. An 8 and a 7 being 15. What do we got? +1 permanent strength, all right. Well done, Freya. Let's add that in right now. All right, next we mark off all of our weapon proficiencies, our hits. Lastly, we gain our plunders. We get Monster Hide, a broken lantern, monster or. We also get 6 white lion resources, being the lion tail, white fur, great cat bone, shimmering mane, lion testes, finally, and another white fur score. Let's send our survivors back home. All right, so we return from that hunt. Go into the setup phase. The survivors return, we heal them up, remove tokens, and we gain our endeavors. So 1 endeavor for each of the returning survivors. That is 4 endeavors there. And might I say, some of the luckiest survivors that aren't aptly named lucky. Let's update the timeline now. All right, we got. Oh, okay. First off, we'll do our settlement event cards. I'll shuffle up. Let's see what we get. Murder. Oh, no. Someone in the settlement has been murdered. The survivor with the highest hunt XP is the victim. Uh-oh. Okay, so Bastion 3. I'm just going to quickly check. So we've got 6. So 2 survivors have the highest. I wonder what happens here. Oh, this is not good. All right, so we have 2 of my favorite survivors here. And they both have the highest hunt XP. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8 apiece. That means they've gone on just about every encounter they could. All right, so we've basically got 2 survivors here that are the target for this. So someone is dead. We've put some, damn it. All right, let's just roll to figure out who this is gonna be. I could do the cards, but whatever. Let's do Ripper, the black dice, Eva, the bone dice. You ready? Whoever rolls highest survives. Oh man. Either way, that hurts. Ripper, our dingle hero of the Phoenix, the finest bowess of the world, is dead. Rest in peace, Ripper. Oh. All right, let's find out who they are dead. The murderer, the survivor with the highest insanity. Oh no. Hang on. Bast, Dorian. It's one of those 2. That other murderer. Bastion, Dorian, Black Bone. Oh, Dorian is safe. But Bastion's a murderer. God. So, select the table that corresponds to your settlement's society principles. Now we have accept darkness. Basically, we roll here on a 1 to 3. We're going to lose another. Oh man, this is not good. Let's just roll and see how we go. It's a 10. Rolling well on the 10s. All right. Let's see what this says. The murderer becomes the undisputed boss of the settlement and gains +3 hunt XP. Each player selects one fighting art and one disorder. The murderer must take all of them, replacing any existing fighting arts or disorders they have. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Give me a sec on that one. I'm gonna have to have a look at. This is epic stuff. This is epically good. I mean, we've lost Ripper proper. She's gone. That sucks. But this Sebastian could be insane. Oh no, he's the Twilight Sword man. Oh, all right. Give me a sec. I'm going to find out which fighting arts and which disorders we're going to want to give him. All right. We have decided. I have decided. Here we go. So for fighting arts, we're handing over the Berserker fighting art. Now this is a once per showdown. You may spend your activation to suffer the All right. So for the fighting arts, I've decided Berserker. Once per showdown, you may spend one activation to suffer Bash and the Frenzy Brain Trauma. Frenzy Brain Trauma will keep him insane, and that is going to be super important. It also removes any slow effect from weapons, and considering he is running with the Twilight Sword, this may come in handy. Fenton. Next up, we've got Combo Master. My dog is playing with a toy. You're going to have to excuse him. On a perfect hit, make one additional attack roll. That's just cool. And lastly, we've got Tumble. When something would collide with you, roll 1d10. On a result of 6+, you successfully tumble out of the way. So that's kind of useful. Hang on one sec. What are you doing? Fenton. Oh, he's a good boy. Everybody, that is Fenton. Anyway, we move on. Now, there are 4 disorders that I'm tossing up between here. We have Prey. You may not spend survival unless you're insane. Not going to be a problem, right? Quixotic. If you're insane when you depart, gain +1 survival and a strength token. Always a useful disorder to have. Hoarder. Now, these are the 2 that I'm not sure about. Hoarder, when you are a returning survivor, archive 1 resource gained from that last showdown and gain +1 courage. This means he's going to be able to get to the See the Truth story event so much quicker. So it just might be a really good one to choose. Or we have Acmophobia. Ichmophobia, maybe? I don't know. You cannot activate or depart with axes, swords, spears, daggers, scythes, or katars in your gear grid. The reason this is kind of cool is that we have the Twilight Sword here, and while it does say Twilight Sword, it does not say sword as a gear identifier. So that could just be like a throwaway one. I don't know. But that, I really want to see the truth. So let's go with Hoarder. Right. I'm sad. Anyway, with murder out of the way, we now check off the next year in our settlement's history, and we go for the story event, Phoenix Feather.
A fallen feather fills the settlement with dread. The skies bubble and murmur as a dark presence tears through the atmosphere like a negative lightning bolt, sucking the air and energy from all who gaze upon it. A light rain begins. The survivors turn their eyes up to see a huge, iridescent feather slowly floating towards the ground. Their lantern lights reflect strange rainbows of the twisting feather. A primal fear takes root in the settlement.
You may now hunt the Phoenix. Add it to the quarry list on the settlement record sheet. Nominate a single survivor to speak, and they gain +1 courage, and they do break the silence. All right, so Freya is going to break the silence, and that is going to move her to the bold event. So we'll get that underway real quick. Now, as this was gained in the settlement phase, Freya gains the Matchmaker ability. making it a lot easier to trigger intimacy story events, which is wonderful. And now we roll 1d10 and see what sort of bonuses she gets. All right, that's pretty solid. Gain +1 permanent accuracy. That brings her up to 2. She's going to have an easy time hitting from now on out. Brilliant. All right, back to, I'll leave that there, back to the Phoenix event. All right, we now break the silence and we roll 1d10 on this one. We get a 3. The survivor shoos everyone away from the feather. Alone in the rain, they examine it. The nominated survivor gains +1 understanding and the tail feather Phoenix resource. And there, that is beautiful. All right, that's the Phoenix feather event. And while it does mean that we can now hunt the Phoenix, we probably shouldn't for some time. All right, we move and update the death count. Next, we move to the develop stage, and we have a ton of resources this time around. So hopefully we can get some good stuff. Definitely going to be finishing that White Lion armor. Give me a sec and I'll figure out just what we're going to do with everything. All right, so far I've got a couple of ideas that we should do. First off, we definitely want to innovate here because that might help inform some of our decisions as we go through this settlement phase. First off, though, we definitely want to finish that White Lion armor using the white fur and great cat bones to produce the White Lion helm. Now, this is amazing as it gives, well, if you can link the affinity and have another blue affinity as well, you can spend your activation and 1 survival to roar. Non-deaf insane survivors gain +2 strength until end of round. All other survivors gain +1 insanity, which is pretty cool for us. Next, we'll cash in the white fur and monster hide to gain the White Lion skirt. And now we have everything we need for a full kitted out set of gear. Lastly, we'll cash in the lion testes to grab the frenzy drink. If we consume this, you may suffer the frenzy brain trauma, which we sort of went through a little bit before, but it gains us a bunch of insanity, removes slow. It's actually kind of cool for us, but it's pretty situational, so it's just good to have, I guess, at this point. Cool. With those done, let's innovate. Now, I'm not entirely sure what we absolutely need here. I think we kind of want a place to spend our endeavors, maybe something to give us some more survival and a bigger survival limit. Probably the survival limit at this point. So anyway, thanks to Symposium, we gain 4 cards here, and we get to pick one of those. So let's go. First off, we have drums, pictograph, ammonia, and scarification. Let's have a closer look at these guys. So scarification, we can spend an endeavor here once per lifetime and gain +1 courage and roll on the hit location die. So you basically roll and you gain something possibly bad here. We'll see. If you roll the head, you get blinded, gain toughness if you roll the chest. Waist, suffer destroyed genitals, severe injury, tops. If you roll the hands, you gain the gambler's scar, which is +1 permanent luck. That'd be about the only reason so far that you'd want to use this. And then for the legs, roll 1d10 on a result of 6 or plus. You lose some toes, gain -1 permanent movement. So you really do want that. Hands, mark, or the chest for the tough fighting art. Anyway, next up we have ammonia, a pungent bilous substance ideal for crafting leather and treating wounds. Departing survivors gain +1 survival, so that could be pretty handy. Next we have pictograph. At the start of a survivor's act, they may decide to skip their act and run away. After a hunt event is resolved, a survivor may decide it's time to go home and also run away. So this is basically your get out of jail free card. And I don't know if I want to get that card just for that effect. Maybe some of the pictograph consequences are cool, not sure yet. Then we have drums. You may spend an endeavor to have one of the following things happen. You gain 2 insanity, gain 2 survival, or gain rhythmic chaser fighting art or synchronized strike, secret fighting arts. And then we add all the drum consequences to the deck. Now, I'm not sure any of these are super what I wanted, right? ammonia might be the best bet. Possibly. It certainly is quite useful at a number of settlement events. At the Skinnery, it allows us to build the rawhide whip, and it will probably, according to the flavor text, come in pretty handy when we build the leather worker. And then we have the bonesmith, where we can use ammonia to help craft the bone pickaxe and sickle, which would have come in pretty handy earlier. But they also require leather, so it might be, yeah. All right, let's do ammonia. So let's grab that. We'll spend these resources here and that endeavor, and we'll score ammonia in the process. Next, we add all of the ammonia consequences to the innovation deck, and then we are good to continue. All right, so I'm pretty keen to see what's next from the Skinnery. So we're going to cash in a bunch of resources here. We have 2 hides, a 3rd hide, and our questionable resource. We'll cash that in along with one of our endeavors to build the leather worker. And that is this guy here. Now this grants us leather making. Now that we have ammonia, we can now cash in hide to turn it into leather, which is going to be super useful for making the leather armor kit, I guess. That's going to be our next target. And we're probably going to want to get some round leather shields in play as well for that added bit of protection. So, yeah. That's them out of the way. Now, it would be irresponsible of me to not roll on the shrine again, so let's grab that endeavor and roll hoping for another bunch of armor here, 4+, and we make it. Everyone is going to gain a +1 armor as they leave for the next hunt. That's brilliant. We have just 1 to go. Now, we don't need to spend it at leather making just yet. We don't need to craft anything there. 1 more, let's grab another survivor. So we are going to have an intimacy event with Freya. We're going to use her matchmaker ability, spending that endeavor there. And she and Lucky are going to roll together on the intimacy chart. Let's go for it. All right, here we go. Now we're going to roll twice here, picking the lowest result. All right, a 9 and a 7. So we have to throw away the 9, unfortunately. That would have been lovely. And we grab the 7. The settlement gains +1 population. The male and female survivors share a deep bond and gain 10 survival each. That is cool. All right, that means everyone is going to be at max survival for the foreseeable future, which is really cool. Awesome. All right. With that said, we are out of endeavors. All that's left now after our development phase is to prepare the departing survivors for our next encounter. We could either go the White Lion level 2, we could go the Screaming Antelope, or if you really want me to, throw away some survivors, we could go the Phoenix. But I think that's a terrible, terrible idea, guys. And we were going so well. It had been pointed out in the comments that the team was very strong offensively, so I capitalized on it with this encounter, went in swinging and swinging hard, trying to melt off as many wounds and as many AI cards as we could to reduce the number of really damaging ones. And we did it. We were cutting through like a hot knife through butter. This White Lion was nothing in comparison to some of the earlier encounters. And then the settlement encounter. Murder. Oh, Ripper, our most favorite bow person, standing on her giant stone faces and just letting rip, taking down enemies from afar and safe. Well, she dead now. I guess people got a little bit jealous with her safe position, and that's why Bastion had to kill her. Oh well, that's Kingdom Death, right? So what's up next for us? Well, we could go a number of different ways. We could really hone in and try and build some of that Screaming Antelope stuff, or we could double down on that White Lion level 2 and see, if it wasn't just luck that carried us through there. Up to you guys. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you want to do. Otherwise, I'm thinking we'll probably go that White Lion again. But anyway, that's about it for today. Guys, thank you very, very much for watching. up until this point, up to the very end. Really appreciate it. Head down to the comments, say good day down there. If you spotted any goofs, make sure you point them out and laugh at the noob over here. Had an absolute blast filming this one as always, so if you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. It means the world to me. But besides that, we are about done. So as always, my name's Michael, this is Bits Aboard. We'll catch you next time.